This is the Mariners POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, let's just exercise all of the demons. Let's exercise all of them because that one felt good. Yeah. That one felt like a good Mariners baseball win, a dominant Mariners baseball win, one that we haven't really seen recently. It's been, close, kind of getting away with stuff wins.
Sure.
And this one was just flat out domination from the pitching. The offense looked much better today. It's great when you hit 4 home runs. Four home runs? Yes, four home runs.
Four.
Yeah. So that's just kind of how it goes, right? So the Mariners win game 1 of the Pirates series 6-0 as Cal Raleigh makes history with his 34th and 35th home runs of the season. Bryan Woo dominates in 6 just easy cruising innings, about as easy as it looks.
Mm-hmm.
And Dylan Moore hits a home run.
Hey.
Of course he does. Arozarena stays hot too. I don't want to gloss over that because that was a great home run as well. Anderson Hurst here, Christopher Crawford to my left. We're the hosts of the Locked On Mariners POSTCAST. We go live right after every single Mariners baseball game to talk about the game that we just witnessed, to kind of break it down with you guys. We love when you guys come and hang out with us. Kind of a weird 1:10 Friday game, but with it being defaultly a weekend, this is kind of the first day of a 4-day weekend here, or 3-day weekend, I should say. Chris Crawford, what are your thoughts?
I am going to first thank Anders for hosting for me the last 2 days. I appreciate that. I hope you missed me even a smidgen. I will say the quick, easy thing that Bryan Woo was awesome.
Yeah.
Big Jumper is awesome. I'm going to do a PSA. Okay.
Public service announcement.
Do you see this face right here? When you light off fireworks at 11 o'clock tonight, this is who you're upsetting. Okay. Don't let this little girl have a bad night. It's fine. Happy 4th. Keep it to a minimum. It really affects dogs. And I love this dog so much. And I hate seeing her so upset. I was hiding her from Anders so he wouldn't see her in the thing. She's so adorable. But look at that face. Do you really want to make that face sad? Play Sarah McLachlan right now, Anders. I know you got it on the board. Right,
I'm not that good of a producer. So.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I love you. But yeah, if you think about it, just something to keep in mind when you're celebrating the day. Just maybe keep them to a low roar.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I like that. I like the PSA.
Sure.
I'm a pretty big 4th of July guy, but I'm not a big fireworks guy. I'm a cookout, like hang out on the beach.
Sure.
Just classic, be with your family, that kind of stuff. So
absolutely.
Mariners started off the day well here, for me at least. Because if you're a Pirates fan, yikes. But no, it's good to see. Let's start with the start, then we'll get into Big Dumper. Bryan Woo, what were your thoughts? What did you see today? Like, this is just vintage Bryan Woo.
Yeah, you know what's funny though is that there were some command issues here and there. Like he gets runners on 2nd and 3rd a couple of times. One time bases loaded, so technically 2nd and 3rd, and just add one runner to it. That's how math works. But he would not give in. And he took advantage of a lineup that I know has been playing better. Like, go take a look at what the Pirates have done over their last 6 games. It's not like they're just beating teams. They're beating the crap out of teams.
Good teams.
I was shocked when I recorded my preview for Mile Y, like just how good they have been as of late, beating up on the Mets and the Cardinals, 2 teams that are probably going to make the postseason. But Bryan Woo took advantage of a lineup that was due for some regression, to be sure. But that's not an insult to Bryan Woo, just to be clear. Like, he was fantastic. He was dotting the corners with both the 4-seam and the 2-seam fastball. How many called strike 3s did we have today? It seemed like a ton, and deserved. I thought credit to the home plate umpire. I thought he was really good today. I thought it was a pretty solid day behind the plate. On them a lot. So when they do well, we have to give them some credit as well.
Well, last night was bad.
Last night was really bad. It's one of the most inconsistent strike zones that I have seen, and I was tempted to come in here and yell about it for 30 seconds and then get out, but decided that it was better for my mental health to just stay away. Bryan Woo was fantastic, and just the ability to pile up these strikeouts as of late. Like, I think this is 4 straight starts where he struck out at least 8 batters. And one thing that was nice for me to see too was that he's kind of struggled in the 6th inning as of late, giving up, maybe getting that, I want to get that double-digit strikeout thing in his head a little bit, maybe trying to throw balls past guys.
Yeah.
Wasn't an issue today. Gets that terrific double play to end the game from Julio. That was a really fun play to end that inning. But Bryan Woo's awesome. And I think, this is more Ty and Colby territory. If and when the Mariners make the postseason, you have an interesting decision to make who starts game 1. And right now, Christopher Vincent Crawford would probably be going with Bryan Woo in that first game.
Yeah, I don't think it's close.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean,
Logan Gilbert's really good. I understand Logan Gilbert's had a little bit of scuffles, and you go, if you want to go hot hand fallacy, but right. The fact that Woo has been so consistently good and wanting to get that game 1 win for the series that does not exist, I think you have to go with Bryan Woo. I think so.
Yeah, for me, if it started right now, I would go with Bryan Woo because I haven't seen enough from Gilbert to show me that he's vintage Logan Gilbert. You know what I mean? But of course, it doesn't start right now. We're talking 3 months down the road. So we could easily see that Gilbert. And if we do, it should be Gilbert. But I'm saying if it started right now, I think it should be Bryan Woo.
I think the biggest question mark right now would be, and again, long way to go, is who that starter that doesn't start is.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously it wouldn't be Logan Evans or Emerson Hancock.
No.
It comes down to whether you would start Kirby or Castillo. And to me, it would be Castillo because I think George Kirby out of the bullpen would be a heck of a weapon for you to have in a 3-game series as well. So, yeah, it's a good problem to have. They got to get there. But if they play like they did today, they're going to get there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you there. And especially how bad the American League is.
No doubt.
This is why you got to take advantage of it. Take advantage of this opportunity. I'm still not giving up on the division. I think the Astros hot streak is a little bit of a paper tiger, so to speak. I want to say falsy. Is falsy a word? Fallacy. That's the word I was looking for. Fallacy. I'm not a very good writer, so
falsy on the fallacy.
Okay, let's talk about the history that Big Dumper's making because he has another 2 home runs today. Both right-handed batting. I know the first one was the second one, or was he batting?
No, they were both right-handed.
Yeah, okay. Which is something I think that's the biggest development for him and been the biggest difference from him this year versus his last 3 years in the majors. It's the ability to bat from the right-hand side. And it's great to see that him warming up for the home run derby didn't ruin his swing. Right. That was a joke, guys. It's not going to ruin his swing. He'll be just fine. Just because he had a couple bad days right after that happened it's totally a coincidence. And by the way, Mariners are now 3-0 in games that Cal Raleigh does not start in. So,
hey.
Anyways, not my MVP. Yes, he is. Chris Crawford. How special is Cal Raleigh, and put what he's doing into perspective a little bit?
So, just real quick, it's so nice to see a game like that, considering, let's just be honest, how dreadful Cal Raleigh looked over the last few games. He had been really scuffling, and due to scuffle, right? This happens. You're going to have negative regression. I know that's a redundant statement, but it's such a nice reminder of how good this guy is. And 35 home runs on Independence Day from your starting catcher is just nuttier than squirrel turds, man. And I love that phrase so much. But this it's so insane to think that this could happen. And the big development here is, of course, if you take away those 14 home runs, that he's hit from the right side, he still got 21 homers. He's still having one of the best catcher seasons of all time. But just the improvement that he's made there. It's interesting because he looked pretty good from the right side in his rookie year. He looked dreadful in his second year. He looked pretty mediocre against him last year.
Yep.
And now he's as good from the right side as he is from the left. It's just the honest truth. He's hitting 330 from that side of the plate. He's picking up the baseball well. He's driving it, obviously, at a consistent rate. Oh, it's just special. And, every year, and I know we've talked about this a lot, there's always something the Mariners have that I'm going to be ticked off if they waste. And now it is the greatest offensive season from a catcher, and it's not even close. Like, if this even is a semblance of what he is over the final 74 games, he is going to have the greatest catching season of all time. Please don't waste it.
And possibly, I know we've had a lot of good overall seasons, but possibly the greatest Mariners overall season of all time. If he continues what he's doing right now, I think there is a chance that could be the case at the end of the season.
Absolutely. There's been some amazing ones. I think, and this is just me guessing, the best WAR season for a Seattle Mariner is probably Griffey's 97.
There was an A-Rod season that just was crazy too.
A-Rod season in 96 was good, but Griffey's season by WAR was actually better, which is pretty insane.
That is insane.
Anyway, we're talking about 9-10 win territory. So if you can be in that category as a catcher, and I think you have to add into it. I know that they do it for us, right? When they do the WAR, they're adding the positional value. They're adding all of that stuff. But putting together that type of season behind the plate as a leader of the team, it's just different.
It's different. It hits different, as the kids say. So, okay, let's give some love to our sponsor for today. Lion says, Chris looks so strange without his beard. Hope all is well, Chris. Yes, he does look a little bit different without the beard. I had to kind of double take when he brought that into the stream.
/ handsome.
Exactly. You're looking like a good, handsome English dude.
/ fat. Let's just be honest. The cheeks. They come in.
Gives you the jawline, you know.
I do have the big dumper going on in the chin more with the beard.
All right, let's talk some game time before we go way off the rails here. All right,
sounds good.
All right, have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group of people to come with you. Game Time makes it possible.
Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. So we live in Seattle, right? And sometimes weather is not always our friend. Like, you don't know if it's going to be fun to go to the game. You don't know if the weather's going to be great. The great thing about Game Time is you make that last minute decision and you actually save money by doing it. That is something that I think is extremely beneficial. And we should thank the good people of Game Time. I bet they have a pretty good deal for us too.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. If you download the Game Time app and create an account, you can use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Remember, you have to create an account and then redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. My favorite part about Game Time is the fact that it kind of rates your deals. I don't always just want the get-in price. I don't want the nosebleed seats. Sometimes I do want to sit a little bit closer, and sometimes those seats are actually like more percentage off what they normally would be priced. Game Time ranks all the deals, the best deal you can get inside the entire stadium for that specific event. That's awesome. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Okay. Let's talk about the rest of the offense. We talked about Bryan Woo and his dominant outing. We talked about Cal Raleigh and, how special he is. We just keep saying the same thing every single day, except when he has a little bit of a rough stretch like the last week or so. But, it's not like the rest of the offense didn't do much today either. It wasn't just Cal Raleigh and nothing. You got 2 hits from Arozarena, including a home run. He's continuing to be the guy right now. You're looking at Dylan Moore's home run. You're still not great from Julio. He now has a below 700 OPS for the first, I want to say the first time since his rookie year, but I could be wrong on that. I don't know exactly how that all breaks out, especially early in the season. But anyways, JP gets a hit. You get one from Solano as well. But talk about what do you think about the rest of the offense today besides Cal Raleigh, obviously?
So Bailey Falter's kind of a tough matchup for folks because he's a really difficult guy to square up. And so the fact the Mariners squared up so many baseballs today really was nice to see. Now, Big Dumper's first home run, that's leaving every park. Like, that ball was just absolutely, I think it was the longest home run.
The first one.
Right-handed
second one barely got over.
Second one just barely. But here's the thing. I think we can stop talking about the Marine layer a little bit because Dylan Moore, Randy Arozarena, and Big Dumper again, all three of those homers are not getting out in April. Those are not home runs. And it's great to see. Like Randy Arozarena is just on one right now. He's seeing the baseball so well. And again, this is what he is. He has these spurts where he looks like one of the best players in baseball. He will also have spurts where he looks like not that, but in between all of that, he does draw his walks. He does make pitchers work. He does do a solid enough job that he's worth having in the lineup. Yeah. You know, and it was great to see after just one home run in June, like this is what now 3 in July already, something along those lines. It's awesome to see, but boy, did Dylan Moore need that just as a confidence booster, because those first 2 at bats were wretched. And we're all thinking the same thing, right? Like, how can you keep playing this guy? And then, no, it wasn't a great pitch. And somebody brought up that the pitcher who gave up the home run should be feeling really bad right now.
Why? Okay, hold on. Why, with how much he has struggled with the fastball, you've seen every single pitcher that goes against Dylan Moore recently just pump 3 straight fastballs in the zone and he can't catch up to it. Why in God's name? I know we're not locked on Pirates here, but why are you throwing a breaking ball? Like, he has shown he can't catch up to the fastball.
No, and I don't get it. It didn't make any sense to me either, but I'm glad he did because, you know, again, I'm not a like Dylan Moore stan, nor am I the biggest hater of Dylan Moore. That one's just a little to the left of me. What I will say is that Dylan Moore is kind of like Randy Arozarena in that he's an incredibly streaky player. We cannot completely forget how good this guy was in April. He was a massive part of their offensive success, particularly against left-handed pitching. Now, the home run today comes against a righty, and against Falter today, he faltered. He faltered against Falter. It's a very easy pun to make, but hopefully this leads to another run, right?
Yeah.
I don't trust Dylan Moore. I'm still not putting him in my lineup every day. You're playing him against lefties only because Dom Canzone and Luke Raley still don't have a better shot of getting a hit than Dylan Moore, but that's damning with faint praise to be sure. But maybe this starts a run. Maybe this is a confidence booster. I'm not inside of Dylan Moore's head. If I was inside of Dylan Moore's head, my body would look a lot better than this because that guy is yoked. But you can't bet on it, but you can hope. And it's certainly better than the alternative, right? It's better to see that ball go over the fence than to see another strikeout. There was some inconsistent offensive play, to be sure. Julio gets under a couple of baseballs. Better game than yesterday, but nice double play on defense at least. Hopefully he could be the next guy to get going. Like, hopefully he can be, and hopefully we can finally get all 3 of these guys going at the same damn time. It'd be so wonderful. But man, Big Dumper. We could just talk about him for the next 20 minutes, but maybe we should let people watch fireworks instead.
I just want to say one quick thing about Randy. Like, he now, I mean, I think it was last game or 2 games ago when he hit the 3rd home run in 2 games. He now is at over 800 OPS. So at the same time that Julio's dropping below 700, Randy's above 800 now. So it's kind of like they're almost switching places in terms of their offensive ability in the lineup a little bit, right? That's kind of who I was hoping Julio would be in terms of just production, straight production. I know they're different players and all that stuff.
Right, absolutely.
But it's there. So now maybe like, and if you throw Polanco in there, who had a great game last night, if you get those 4 guys, I think that is the core of your offense. If you get, at least right now, if you get, Julio needs to bounce back. That's the biggest thing for me. But you got Cal just MVPing it up right now. You got Randy just on an absolute tear. And if you get Polanco to be somewhere closer to the April Polanco than the May-June Polanco, then we'll be in much better shape offensively. Because then if you add one more bat to that, you're talking about a much longer lineup. Because I like what Cole Young's doing. I know he had no hits today, but he hit a ball really hard off a lefty. He looks like, to me, I know the results haven't necessarily been there as of late, but he looks like a guy that's so close to clicking for me. You could tell he's like just about to figure it out. I hope they continue to go with that. And I still like the at-bats and the defense that Williamson gives you.
Absolutely.
I know it's a very low ceiling, low ceiling.
Yeah.
But those two at the bottom of your lineup, I think you can shoe in. You just need like 1 or 2 spots in between those 4 guys that we talked about and then those bottom 2. And I think this is a much more competent offense.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm glad you brought up Williamson because, hitless today, but he's looked really good on this homestand. It's been really fun to see hard contact. And he hit a ball hard today to do. Fun center fielders today in O'Neal Cruz and Julio Rodriguez. A little bit of difference in
ability.
Nice way to put this.
Effort.
Acumen. I'll say acumen is the nicest way to put it because O'Neal makes some big boo-boos out there. But
he has most errors in the league, I think.
Yeah, his athleticism is super impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can get those guys going and if you can have, I do like Young. I do like how he's looked. Still waiting on that first dinger. I know it's coming soon. Pretty solid offensive effort.
Yeah, and for Young, I know he's like, it looks like he's just, like I said, it just looks like he's so close to clicking. Like you said, he struggles in the beginning every single level that he's been to. So you could, and I like the mentality where he looks like, gosh, I'm so close, but he doesn't look frustrated like he wants to get mad. Like he looks like he's just really, really close to getting there. And I hope that comes this year because that'll be a huge development for this team moving forward.
The one thing I wanted to mention about Young real quick.
Yeah.
The one thing that concerns me about Cole Young is throwing. And it was another throwing mistake today that almost hurt the Mariners really bad.
On the double play.
His arm strength is in the 7th percentile of all infielders right now. And that is ugly. And it's not going to get any better. No. But it's also a reminder that, number one, this guy's never going to play shortstop at the MLB level. I know he was drafted as one. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to play third base either because he doesn't have a strong enough arm. He can help you defensively second base. No question. He's been more asset than detriment. I don't love calling players assets, but he has been more helper than hurter to be sure at second base. But it's just something to keep an eye on because those throws are not good. They are not good, and it's just something to kind of keep an eye on.
Yep, I agree with you there. I still, like you said, even defensively, I still think he's more of a plus than a minus because of his range and because of his ability.
Way better than Polanco, I'll tell you that much. Holy crap.
God, yes. Okay. If you haven't yet, please like the video. It helps us a ton. Share it with your friends. If you missed any part of today's video, you can go ahead and watch from the beginning on YouTube or find it anywhere you get your podcast. Chat, tell me your unsung hero today. A couple good options, but I'll ask you first, Christopher Crawford. Who is your unsung hero?
This is kind of a tough one because I don't know if there's any unsung heroes here. I don't know.
You could go an easy one in the bullpen if you really want.
Yeah, I guess it's so easy to go with. I'll go Trent Thornton giving you 2 innings.
Yeah,
I'll go with 2 innings of scoreless baseball for Trent Thornton. Nice to not to have to use any of the high leverage guys. Bizzardo striking out 3 as well. That's great to see. But so I'll just give a collective thank you to the bullpen. And Bizzardo, I will send you a bunch of stuff when your arm falls off.
Yeah, seriously. We're overworking the crap out of him right now. Yeah. Andy says, unsung heroes, the friends we made along the way. You guys are all my friend. Thank you so much.
There we go. I love that.
I'm going to go Randy. I think like both short-term and long-term, he's kind of the unsung hero because today his home run kind of goes a little under the radar, but it was a big one. It kind of, at that point, made it 3-0 because Cal's homer in the first inning. Was it the first inning or third inning? I can't remember. But it was the first inning. Okay. And then Randy to make it kind of 3-0 to kind of give Bryan Woo a little bit more breathing room to kind of just go and attack like he always does. And just the fact that if he is this guy, if he's this version of Randy Arozarena for the rest of this year, or at least closer to this, it's going to be huge for this offense. It'll take pressure off others. And you'll just have another weapon up and down the lineup. I would consider moving him up, to be honest. I might swap him and Julio at this point just to kind of, switch things up a little bit, get Randy a couple more at bats, and then hopefully Julio moving down just gets him a different look if you're behind all those guys instead of in front of them. So yeah, that's just my thought.
Can I mention one thing I wanted to mention that I totally forgot about, and the people who think I just gloat over Julio are going to be annoyed by this? There was a big moment he had in the first inning. So he hits that liner to second base and the second baseman drops it. I thought he caught it, to be honest with you. And he makes the throw over to first and it's a terrible throw. Thank goodness Julio's running there, right? Because if Julio gives up there, like a lot of hitters would do, then this is a 1-0 game instead of a 2-0 game. And I think once they built that 2-0 lead, and in particular the 3-0 lead, but that doesn't happen without that. This game was over because there was no way the Pirates were scoring that many runs off Bryan Woo today. So it's just something I noted that I wanted to bring up, but I just remembered it at the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, definitely. Two ways to look at that. One, for me, like at least he still is giving the effort, even in a slump that he's in. And it's something that he'll always bring. He always plays the game the right way in that aspect.
Yep.
But at the same time, for me, effort's a minimum. Like that, you should
of course
always be getting that, right?
It's so you're not supposed to go to jail thing, right? It's
exactly.
It's that effort for sure. Yeah. But look, we have criticized Randy Arozarena for a lack of effort at times, and we have criticized some other folks as well. So it was nice to see that he was still cares. Julio Rodriguez needs to be better. There's absolutely no denying that. Like what he has done, particularly in July, which is disappointing because this is supposed to be his big boy month, has been not good enough. But it's never a question of effort with this dude. It's never a question of whether or not Julio Rodriguez wants it. That's the only time I actually get frustrated with fans, by the way, is when people act like he doesn't give a crap. Bull crap. Yeah, there's probably nobody who cares more about it. He probably cares too much. The Mariners need to do a better job of saying, calm down.
Chill out.
Calm down. You're going to be fine. You're a 24-year-old who has been a top 10 MVP player twice. Calm down. Get back to doing what you're doing best. But I thought that was a big moment. The fact that they were able to go up 2-0 because of an effort play from Julio Rodriguez was nice to see.
Are you on the extend Randy train?
Yes, but this is the tough one because, boy, I could go on for about 20 minutes here, right?
I didn't just open
the Mariners have a budget, and that budget should be higher, but you have to operate within the realm of what the Seattle Mariners budget is. Yeah. If Randy Arozarena prevents them from doing other things, it's a little bit more of a tough decision. Yeah. It's a little bit more of a tough decision. Here's what I like. You got him for next year too. Figure out if Randy Arozarena is a great fit for the team. If you can sign him to a contract that benefits everyone, I'm not asking for an Atlanta Braves situation where you screw over players. I'm asking for something that helps Randy, that helps the Seattle Mariners, and helps us because we get to watch Randy Arozarena play, right? Yeah. If you can work something like that out, great. If you can't, you still get Randy Arozarena for one more year, and I think that's more good than bad.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm as big of a Randy fan as there is, as I'm pointing to the bobblehead in my background here.
Beautiful.
I almost think the deal you have him on right now is perfect. He's going to be, 32 when that expires?
I think so.
He has kind of a very easy declining skill set with the speed and the doubles and that kind of stuff. If he absolutely starts to pick it up, if he's this player that we're seeing right now for the rest of this year and then most of next year, then yes, absolutely. But I almost think what they have now is just a perfect, okay, we get you through your prime basically. And then as you start to decline, we're going to kind of I'm never the guy to be like, oh, let him go before they hit their 30s, but this is an almost perfect situation for that way of thinking where it's I could totally see the way of thinking that way as well.
The other thing here too, is you got to think about it from Randy's perspective is whether or not you think this is the best situation for you, not only playing as a Cuban in this tiny, tiny little corner of the country,
South Alaska,
but you know what I mean? South Alaska, Canada South. There is no doubt that this is not exactly a Latin America hotbed. It's growing just like anywhere else, and it's a melting pot.
My wife would disagree.
Well, here's the thing. I was going to say, as well as anybody. There's a reason why the Mariners have had to pay $240 million to the Robinson Canoes, right? Yeah. So it's going to be a tough one. But I want Randy Arozarena to be happy. I want Seattle Mariner fans to be happy, and I want the Mariners to be happy. But
and it seems like he's in a pretty good place. He seems like he has fun with the guys. All the teammates love him. I noticed that even more so than when he was in Tampa. Maybe I just wasn't around it that much.
Real quick, I forgot about that catch that he made. That was such a great catch. He's been so much better defensively this year than he has in the past.
Agree.
So that has been really nice to see. I think he's also helped by Julio. The fact that he knows he doesn't have anything in left center. My dog, you go ahead and you take care of that. Everything down this line, I will go ahead and take care of.
Yeah.
that was a really great play. I totally forgot about that catch because it was so early in the contest. But yeah, really nice job.
Yeah, I'm loving this version of Randy right now. I think this is so much fun to watch. We're going super long here. Really apologize, guys. But go enjoy your 4th of July. Aaron says Randy might also want to go to a hitter-friendly park. I don't blame him if he wants to get paid. Yeah, totally agree. If the Mariners let him walk and he goes to a more hitter-friendly place and he plays out his mid to late 30s in that place, totally cool as well. I'm not in the place where I think he absolutely need to extend him right now. If I see more of what he's doing right now, I'm in that boat. I'm firmly in that boat. But sorry for pushing it long on you guys on the 4th of July. Please be safe tonight. Please have fun. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I think it's another 7:10 first start.
7:10.
Yes, on for the Saturday game. Chris and I will both be with you. And then I think Chris will be alone on Sunday. So you'll get a little bit of me earlier in the week, and then you'll get a little bit of Chris. So if you like one of us more, you know which one to tune into. But no, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. These are so much fun. Any last words from Christopher Crawford before we get out of here?
Think about the dogs.
Think about the dogs.